Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Why do I call it liberal self-goal? Because for the longest time, the act of book banning or calls for book banning or calls for cancellation of books have been termed an fascist act. But the manner in which the entire army of liberals in the last 48 hours descended on Bloomsbury to withdraw the book, to boycott the book, to not have the event, to release the book, including famous authors like William Dalrymple. I believe it is an act of liberal gang shaming. Now, what is liberal gang shaming? It is not very different from Hindutva troll army. They come and hunt in packs. The pressure that they bring because of their ideology. But here's the self-goal. The ideology has always been not to ban. I am a product of the 1980s. I'm not a millennial woke liberal. My politics was shaped around book bans, was shaped by Salman Rushdie's satanic verses when it was banned by Rajiv Gandhi government. I disapproved of it then. I disapproved of the way Taslima Nasreen was treated when she went to Hyderabad and she was hounded and attacked. I disapprove of someone like Deenanath Batra, the RSS man who I wrote about, and I called him a ban man. I disapprove of his calls to ban Wendy Doniger and sanitize many of the school textbooks. So I have been against bans. So for me, this moment where Bloomsbury has withdrawn the book by Monica Arora is a deeply conflicting one. Should I be relieved that an RSS propaganda book, which is clearly based on WhatsApp propaganda, blaming the victim, from what I read of it in social media, should I rejoice this moment that this book has been withdrawn? Or should I ask a more wrenching question? What happens to my Voltairean idea of not banning thoughts, not banning books? It was easier to defend Salman Rushdie's book. It was definitely easier to defend Taslima Nasreen's book. But it's not easy to defend Monica Arora's book as a liberal. I intensely disagree with the premise and politics of such a book. But the question I'm asking is, should we defend the call to deplatform this book? Now, many will apply legal sophistry and what I call ideological gymnastics to defend this move, saying this is both-siderism, we don't need to platform them, we don't need to offer platforms for hate speech, this is definitely not a ban, this is not a state ban, this is just public outrage. There are many ways to defend it, to make peace with this moment. But this moment is really difficult. You cannot be relieved or rejoice this moment because that's not what our politics is. Our politics is not to banish thought. I am sure now that this whole controversy has happened, the book will just gain cult status. There will be a market curiosity to it. Somebody else will publish it. Under this new government, it's not easy in this political atmosphere. It's not difficult to find another publisher, another platform. I am sure it will. I'm sure the book is not going to disappear. But this instance of liberals ganging together and calling for a book to be withdrawn is going to be quoted ad nauseum by Hindu fundamentalists in times to come, when they mount similar attacks on books they do not like, on books that they do not approve of. It would have been much smarter to allow this book to survive, to breathe, to be ignored and die a natural death. But now you have made it into a larger-than-life image, a mascot for freedom of speech. But the bigger long-term damage is to liberal politics. Can liberals find a way to come out of this rabbit hole?